Well, happy Valentine's Day, all you lovers of every shape and size. Nothing, I'm just laughing about something I saw earlier. Uh, well, here we are in the Great White North. I think our cold spell's about to break. I don't know if you can see the creek behind me. Well, is everybody happy about being defrauded and lied to? Hey, you happy about all the bullshit? You happy about, your public service waging war on the family unit, on your local church, on the elderly, on our kids? Hey, using bullshit like global warming? Listen, man, the same thing they're using for this Kung Flu is exactly what they use for global warming. They used bullshit models, right, that they just made up in their head, didn't allow any transparency, any peer-reviewed discourse, which is what science has to have. So here's the other big problem. So you just gave the future of a nation over to China. Okay, now I'm pretty sure that Winnie the Pooh does run pretty much everybody in almost every phase of our government. Be it local, municipal, county, provincial. I'm pretty sure. But as you dumb down motherfuckers, as you build your green nation, think about this. All you're doing is killing birds with those windmills. It takes 7 years of one of those fucking windmills to pay off the energy it took to produce the windmill. So you're going to run it for 7 years, and then what's the lifespan on a windmill? Before you actually have to replace it. Nobody wants to talk about this shit. But my biggest point is, all the energy storage is made in China, okay? They're the lithium battery dudes of the world. They own 65% of all the rare earth elements needed to produce the lithium batteries. Okay? So you're going to cut off the wealth of the nation, the future of this nation, of all our young ones, so that you can give control and all the wealth over to the communist regime, the tyrannical communist regime in China. Wow. Aren't we smart? Hey? That's why we have C-average students in government. Because they're smarter than you. There's a war that's been pledged on everyone. There's a war that's been pledged on everyone. By your public service. By your public servants. It's an old war. It was written up. Well, this kind of thing's gone on forever. But it's just about, getting people to hate each other for no good fucking reason. And then the government coming in to straighten it all out. Only problem is, when the Bolsheviks did it, they killed over 65 million people over their course. And they were only in power for 70 years, 65 million people gone. When Mao Zedong did it, Mao Zedong, whatever the fuck his name was, he just killed millions and millions of his own people. You guys don't know any fucking thing about history. You just think about your fucking selves. It's just crazy. But one thing that we do have in common with the Nazis in the free world today is we still have the courts. Now, at this time, we still have the courts. Learn to use your courts. Our forefathers built us those public buildings so that every man, every woman could hold court. It's your fucking right. Public discourse at a public venue, within a public building, within a public mandate. The court buildings don't belong to the legal society. They're paid for by you and I. The hospitals don't belong to the medical association. They belong to you and I. Parliament doesn't belong to the corporate body politic. It belongs to you and I. Why? It's a public building. It's financed by the public. We pay for it. And the government has no money. So, people should start to fucking do some critical thinking, for crying out loud. Yeah. I had a few other things I wish to say, but just remember as you take your little brainwashed child from the brainwashed school board, about your fucking global warming bullshit and your pandemic bullshit. That's just pissing me off. Every one of you that are agreeing and believing with lies are putting your own kids into fear. You're destroying your own children. You're taking part in the manslaughter of our elderly that we are supposed to respect, uphold, and care for. And what are the kids going to, when the kids figure it out, well, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen. Because how many of you are going to force your kids to get that poison? The Kung Flu has never been isolated. It's never been duplicated. You're not getting a dead virus as protection. You're just getting another computer model. Well, according to the computer models, Manhattan's supposed to be underwater. Yet Obama and Tory. Look at Tory. Look where his mansion is. Hey, one of them. Right on the ocean. Because he knows it's bullshit. They all know it's bullshit. Quit being such a fucking sapsucker. Get an old school encyclopedia and start to study history. But this whole socialism bullshit, it's just designed for a tyrannical government. And I'm sure fucking the tool is paid off. Why else would him and Scheer both, why else would they both be destroying the only conservative government we have? At large. My option is, what I'm freely expressing myself to say to everybody is, don't vote for any of these cunts. Vote for the underdog. Vote for the welfare mother that's fucking running for office. Vote for the Wex, the Saskatchewan exit, whoever. Don't vote for any of these mainstream cocksuckers. Now, they need a suspension and pay for a year. They need to volunteer their time for a year. And they're setting us up now. They're going to go with this ballot and Dominion voting machines. And everybody's just not going to say a fucking word. I hate the thoughts of splitting up this nation. But Eastern Canada, I don't know what you guys are doing down east. I'm talking the Maritimes. I don't understand why my Quebecois cousins are sitting. I don't get it. The first people I thought that would stand up for their rights would be our Quebecois cousins. My native cousins have been, their sellout chiefs all been told they're going to get payouts by the establishment. That's why they're not doing fuck all. Because they're going to take the money. Just more sellouts. We either come together as a nation, even the Western nation, even as Western Canada. I don't know how the hell we can do it, because Vancouver's fucked, Calgary's fucked, Edmonton's fucked, Winnipeg's fucked. Regina has been fucked forever. It's just a swamp. Maybe there needs to be a free nation of rural Canada, and allow all the cities to be part of the corporate body politic. Maybe we can have a rural republic. And then we can decide what we do with our land. We can decide how we harvest our land. We can decide what corporations can and how operate on our land. We can decide on our energy needs. If you get sucked into all this fucking battery backup solar bullshit, it's good to have some of it. I mean, we need better designs for solar and stuff. You know, the pollution created by creating, like, manufacturing this stuff is outrageous. And it takes years and years and years, sometimes even over the lifespan of what it is that you decide to go green with, never makes up for the energy and toxic waste that it does cause. We need to smarten the fuck up. We need to have public discourse. The public are the ones. So before you allow your family to get the poison, you know, you better check into this. It's destroyed more lives than your so-called Kung Flu. But unless this nation comes together, and I wish you maskers, you unnatural maskers, will stop harassing and tormenting natural people and people with disabilities. And yes, we need to replace, you know, I believe that every public servant needs to be liable for their actions. The minute they step out of that mandate of their office, well, they are actually liable. But there needs to be a way, kind of like, you know, how they set up the human rights court, so anybody, you know, Jonathan the Yaniv can take, going to take all these poor women to court for not waxing his balls. Well, I think we need the same kind of court here to hold individuals accountable that act, you know, government actors that step outside their mandate, and that includes cops. We need a people's court. We need the courts to step up and start recognizing that our rights are not derived from a piece of paper, that God granted everyone the right to property. That's breathing. That's your body. That's what goes in and out of your body. That's your right to decide. Okay, well, what goes out was part of your decision from what went in. No, yeah. Shit food. Here we have technology forever to clean water, yet we're still throwing poison in the water. And then on top of the poison, you know, we're throwing in, you know, they're saying for your teeth, but it's the wrong kind of fluoride. It's not the fluoride for your teeth. And we're throwing that in, and it hardens the pituitary gland. I guess it's right here. It hardens the pituitary. You got kids right now. There's a kid, a neighbor of mine. He's got what they call sports asthma. So, like, if he runs a lot, I've had this my whole life. That's why I couldn't join the armed forces. But if he runs in that and he heats up, he has a coughing spree before he stops, and then he's okay. It's called sports asthma. He can't go to school because he has sports asthma. Because of you freaks, all you fucking maskers out there, freaking out, the teachers union, all you fucking public servants that are sucking off of our livelihoods. The ones of us that have a little bit of livelihood left. The ones that aren't bankrupt and without and homeless. Because you're fucking... It's actually not because of your. It's because we believe in bullshit. And it's all our fault, and we consent to it. You consent to the lockdown? That's your fucking problem. Lose your goddamn business. You consent to the mask? That's your fucking problem. You're too scared to get fucking arrested? Too fucking bad. That's your fucking problem too. What are they going to do? Shackle you and throw you in a cage? It's no different than Obama's kids that are coming across the border. I hear Biden re-hooked up the cages. And they're still coming into the States. They're not scared. You're telling me these kids walking across the border being thrown in Obama cages are braver than you? That's because we got a bunch of soya fucking eating men with tits. You know, just unfucking believable. No wonder why our women don't respect us. Anyways, that's my rant for the day. But just remember, the more battery technology you rely on for power storage, computers, the more China owns our ass. And we can't compete with the battery technology. We can compete on our own natural resources, on our own clean coal, and on our own bitumen, you know, our oil, our sweet crude, you know, our petroleum. We can rely on that because we have that. And it doesn't have to cost $1 zillion to fucking refine it and use it. But we can't compete against China. China owns almost all the fucking mines you need. We don't have it. So we'd have to buy them. China has the technology. We don't have it because we're losers. Canada gave up manufacturing. We were sucked out of it and gave it over to, first we gave it to the States with free trade and Ryan Mulgooney. And then we gave it over to Mexico and China here. Well, mostly China in the 90s. You know? So we don't have the technology. We don't have the resources. We don't have the manufacturing. And even if we did have the manufacturing, we couldn't afford it because it would cost too much in energy costs to run a manufacturing plant. And then to top it off, we can't compete with slave labor. And that's one of the troubles that China's having right now. They've used up most of their religious folks for organs, you know, that are keeping their so-called healthcare system alive. And now all they got is slaves. So what do? Do they harvest their slaves and actually have to pay people money for manufacturing? Fucking Apple products would quadruple or more. So get your fucking head out of the stand. Start thinking. Quit being scared of these coppers. Take their fucking orders. Yeah, I order you to wear a mask. Is that an order? Who are you? Get their fucking name. Okay, what detachment are you out of? Okay, fine. Now is that an order? Yes, that's an order. Okay, you film it all. All right, order number 1. Get in the car. Order number 2. Turn around, put your hands behind your back. Order number 3. I don't know. Take their fucking orders and send them a goddamn bill. If you don't have the fucking balls to stand up to another man that's giving you orders to receive and to go after just compensation for fulfilling their orders to the best of your ability, you're a fucking pussy. Right? And I don't care how much money you get in orders, but the first ones, you know, whatever you do, put them in sequence so that they just come under whatever small claims limit is in your neighborhood. And then take them to court for the first orders. And if they don't pay the second orders, take them to court for the second orders. Start standing the fuck up. Okay? Your rights came from your creator. God created man. Man created government. Their rights come from us. They are in the box. They have to stick to the paperwork. They are 2-dimensional. You are fucking 3-dimensional. You are actually spirit and truth. And believe me, if you don't have God, you don't have freedom of speech. And that's why they've been working so hard on getting God out of this nation for so long. God forbid you have freedom of speech. All right, let's fucking Al's out.